Hey guys, my name's Bando, this is Rex Bando, and so today I'm just going to do like part 2 of the last video, because it was made aware to me that I'd not covered sort of other ways of doing chipping. So I wanted to do, I'll do 3 parts to this. I'll do each part as their own separate video, because I can't really do one of them on these scale models, so I'll have to put together something and then show you how to do the third one on a separate model. So last video we did brush chipping of the Sons of Horus, and that was for a model which was one of my armistice, as I have 2 for this army, one with a missile launcher, one with a heavy bolter, because I don't want to magnetise them. Apologies, I'm still fighting off this throat infection ulcery job that I'm going on, so it still hurts to talk. So this time we are going to be doing the same thing. We're still doing Sons of Horus, and you can see here this is the armistice we worked on last video. I've just been going over and doing the gold, which is using a different gold to what I would normally use. Normally I just use Retributor gold, but I'm trying out Vallejo's Model Air Bright Brass, which is a bit of a nicer, more desaturated gold. Problem is, it doesn't cover very well with a brush. So I'll be doing the chipping on a heavy weapons squad, and covered in cobwebs because they've been sat on a shelf for a while, and I haven't been working on them. So this is the Sergeant. Now, what we're going to be doing here, it's a bit of a faster chipping method. We're still using Gory Red, because I haven't had a chance to go and get some more word bearers, but that's fine. And what we're doing is called sponge chipping, which surprisingly is using sponge. And you can use sponge from your kitchen actual proper sponge. You can use packing sponge. These are little squares out of a pluck and fill kind of carry case, which is great. You can just pull them apart, rip them apart and do what you want with them. But I also got, you can also pick up sponges from craft shops and use those, and sometimes they even come with a little handle, and you could just stick the handle in there and they work like that. But I'll be using one of these. So I've I've torn this in half, and actually I'm going to tear it in half again, and I'm going to make a bit of a finer point out at the end of it, because I want a little bit more controllability of where I put the paint. Now, it really is as simple as just dunking this in the paint and stippling it on where we want our chips to be. And normally I would... there they are. Use my magic weapon, which is a pair of tweezers. And dip in the paint, just like that. And you want to just get rid of it all, because you don't want to swamp the model. And just like before, we're just focusing on the edges. But the good news is, because this is a power armoured model, we've got lots of like flat spaces, and that means we can do a lot more sort of flat space chipping, and you can already see that's done quite a bit. You don't want to overdo this, and you don't want to push too heavily, because if I push too heavily it'll do a big blob like that, and we don't want that. If you get that, you can use a wet brush and wipe all that away as quickly as possible with lots of water, or you could just stipple around it and sort of blend it in a bit, and it just becomes a bit of a nastier chip, which you then can go off and add more silver to, for example, just to you know, it's gone all the way down to the bare metal. Now, one little trick with these is rotate it, because you don't want to just keep stippling from the same angle. Because if you just keep going from the same angle, you'll start making patterns. And the human eye is really, really good at picking out patterns. So, can't really see it very well, but there is a pattern to this in the dots. Oh, that was clever. So what you do is you just rotate either the model or the sponge and come at it from different angles. I think that's enough for him. Grab another one. And you don't need to refill the paint on this particularly very often. And like before, you want to focus on areas of high wear, so edges, knee pads, places where the armour is going to make contact with things, you know, scrape against things. Like the corner of this greave at the bottom here. That's going to be a real contact point. You're going to catch that on things, you know, scuff it on things as you go past. You know, when you kick someone in the face, it's going to scrape along their gear. Oh, that was close. Now, studs, battle acne, these molecular bonding studs, they're a great place to put chips because they're raised up. They're going to be high profile, you know, they're going to be something that catches edges. And they just look good when you've chipped them. They also look really good if you chip them all the way back to bare metal. Oh, bit too much of that. Now, unlike the last time, I would not be using the sponge to do the metallic side of this. I would still use the brush to pick out the areas I want to have gone all the way down to silver. And in this case I will also be doing the same thing for the Gorse Blaster step, the sort of edge highlight on the bottom edge. You don't have to. You could instead do your first load of chipping as Gorse Blaster, you know, as your highlight colour, whatever your last highlight of your main colour is, and then focus your chipping above it effectively. So if I was to put some there that was Gorse Blaster, the next, you know, the red stage would just be slightly higher. It takes practice to do it, and it can look fantastic when you do it properly. Works best for tanks. You just start stippling the edges of tanks in a lighter colour first, and then you take it up to you know, whatever your next colour is. I just got to keep rotating it. Remember that the toe caps as well, they're a really good wear point. Knee pads. Now, you're probably wondering, I did say in my last video that you would do this after you've done decals, and why are there no decals on here? I generally don't put decals on my Sons of Horus. It's generally just the characters and the vehicles that I put the decals on, because I didn't have any to begin with. Buying 4-draw decals with 20 quid a sheet was just far too expensive for me. £20 on decals was £20 I wasn't spending on models, and that was more, you know, interesting to me. There we go, nice and weathered. So there we go, we've got the squad all smashed up, definitely not passing parade muster like that, but they look like they're ready to fight the Imperial Fists. They'll be able to bring their boss along with them as well. So, speaking of tanks, I'll show you another one in a different scheme, just so you can see what I mean. This is an assault cannon Predator for my Imperial Fists, and you can see that all I've used is Rhinox hide, which is one of my favourite chipping colours. Take that off. All along the edges, anywhere that's high wear, and that's what it looks like, obviously over the decals. And yeah, just anywhere I think it's going to be rubbing. And then some places we've taken it up to silver, where the wear was a bit heavier. You can also use this for things like the vents, wherever the engine vents are, wherever it's going to be an exhaust. You can start with brown and just you stipple out, and then you go to black to do sort of the soot and the burning, you know, the heat, as it were. Places like down here are really good, but also the teeth on the doors. This is one people might not realise. That comes swinging down. Those points are going to be hitting the ground pretty hard. They're going to get worn out pretty fast. So yeah, we've got the turret. I know that the assault cannon Predator is not a twin linked assault cannon for the Imperial Fists, but having a kit with one available in the Baal Predator made it nice and easy. And then I just threw a lot of accessories on from the Heresy vehicle kit. So you can see here just slightly that there's a slight texture to it as well. You can see that this is raised, that it's on top of the yellow. The next chipping method we're going to be doing will actually show you the opposite, and it'll have you won't have to do the highlight stage, because you actually do have a change in height on the layers of paint. It's a little difficult to do if you don't have an airbrush, but it is possible. Right, my name's Bando, this is Brexit Bando. Thank you for watching these videos. Everyone who subscribed, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. We are like 140, I think 130 subscribers away from 1,000, which is mad. Or 230, sorry, my maths is awful. Which is absolute madness to me. You know, I'm really, really surprised. So thank you everyone who's been watching these. I'm waiting on a few more parts for my Pravian that was voted on in the community tab. If you don't check those out, if you have a look at the community tab on my channel, you'll see that sometimes I will run little polls to ask, you know, what should I work on next, what character should I build, what should I paint certain things as. You guys voted for my Thousand Suns multi-melter squad. Well, they're now finished and they've been posted up there, so go have a look at those on the community tab. So yeah, I've got a Night Lord's Pravian will be coming along at some point soon, as soon as the claw parts turn up. I will need you guys to decide whether or not he has a bear head or a helmet though. So that poll will be going up shortly. Okay, well, that's me done waffling. My name is Bando. This is Brexit Bando. You have a great day. Bye bye.